No, you're not seeing things. This is actually a small blue penguin habitat. This is obviously a mod, but we are going to build a rudilistic habitat for this awkward little blue thing. Now, tuning into the Planet Zoo music to bring you into the mood, we are building a wonderful habitat in the realistic habitat zoo, or the rudilistic zoo as you guys have called it. So if you're in for a little journey of how to build realistic habitats for penguins in general, with a lot of knowledge that I got from a certain Omi and some other people in the chat, stick with me. We are going to have a good talk about this habitat, and it turned out to be looking really beautiful. But before we really go into the building process, I'll give you a little bit of an idea. So I kind of wanted to go on with the Barbie habitat, but then I figured the story is told. There's not really much more I can tell you because it's pink, it's very colorful. I made certain things and I'm happy, but it would be just more of the same. And I just wanted to do something else again, and this something else turned out to be a realistic habitat. I wanted to do this for the African penguin first of all, but I thought, you know, not again. We've done this too often, and honestly, it just shows again how much the lack of actual diving animals hurts us in terms of creators, in terms of creations, in terms of overall diving. So I went to grab some mods, and we made a little poll on Twitch during the live stream, which one we are going to take. And funny enough, the first one was a draw between this one and another ugly one. I think it was the fat rock hopper one or so. Yeah, never mind. And in the second draw, we finally got the winner, which was the creepy blue one. You'll see at the end of the video why creepy. It's interesting. Let's put it that way. But so that was that. So we decided on going for that. And this is also like a little hint. If you're still listening in 1 minute and 59 seconds into the video, first of all, thank you. If you skipped here, what are you doing? Stick with me now. And also, you might consider going to the live stream next time around, even though this is now during my holidays. So I'll be back from the week in the week from the 14th of August. This is where we're going to start with the live streams again. But yeah, as you can tell, many of my projects now do evolve from live streams. And there's also a clip I should not mention, but I will mention. This was potentially the most hilarious yet weird clip I've ever created in a way, because I didn't clip it. I was the one being clipped. You know what I mean? Yeah, but whatever. You may want to see that one either in my Discord, link in the description, or in the clip sections on Twitch. And I have a weird feeling that this might become one of the favorite clips. Not sure why though. But yeah, as this is all what I wanted to say, the streams are good because you can actually create the videos together with me. So that's kind of cool. Because Omi again was one of these nasty people. He's always the one. Who's dictating me certain elements from a realistic habitat. Okay, so before we talk about these realistic aspects of this very habitat, we have to talk about another fact that is a little bit of a, well, it was a bit of a stopping factor, but I still continue doing this. These animals are freaking tiny. These are basically diving meerkats, if you will, and they are, as I was told, the smallest penguin species out there, and so I did not want to make this habitat so huge, but as you can tell, diving in this game works different. And also the space requirement in this game works different, even though the modding team didn't give them a huge requirement, but still to make it really look good and work, you should give them some space. Spoiler alert, it does not really work properly, but that's down to the game, not down to the mod. I'm not really prone to changing it because it won't help. It's just how diving is at this point in time in the game. Either it works or it doesn't, but if it doesn't, there's hardly any chance to fix it by just fixing a couple of things. It's mostly only doable if you change the entire habitat. And I'm not willing to do that for many reasons. I guess the biggest is that I'm hopefully right now chilling on the beach while you're listening to this video. So, but also there are a couple of other good reasons why I don't want to do this. Now, before we will talk about certain aspects, what I'm planning for the rest of the year with Planet Zoo, because things have changed, I gotta tell you. A bit of a real talk in about a couple minutes. For those of you who are in for real talk, make sure to stay here or just summon your capability of perfect skipping. I know that people are perfect at skipping. Now, the idea about this habitat was I wanted to fill in this area between the lion habitat, or I should say the lion sanctuary, because it's insanely huge and nice. And on the other hand side, we had this little forest area in which Lider also helped me out, and he did so many beautiful things. But this was kind of an empty spot in between, and I wanted to pay it justice by building a habitat that doesn't take up all the attention, but then at the other side gives us a little transition into the other area, because there's also like a restaurant, so that would be the family area. And then I wanted to have something in between that also acts like a transition element between both. This is why I knew I wanted to have a bridge that crosses over the water bottom, and I also knew this time around that I wanted to have only one water bottom, because in terms of maintenance, that's always better, you know, and cleaning and stuff like that would make things easier. So that's why I decided to go for one. By the way, you can see how tiny these animals are over here. And so we ended up with this layout of having a swooping little water bottom and then having the bridge crossing over. Talking about the bridge in a second once we are there and styling it. But yeah, then it came to their little shelters, and these animals love to go in these little burrows or holes or caves, whatever you want to call them. Unfortunately, these burrows do not act with them. Unfortunately, our penguins in the game do not have this behavior, so the mod can't have the behavior either. I was struggling quite a bit to find the right pieces to cover them up, because if you look up pictures of their nests in real life, they are always quite nicely hidden under... It seems to be some roots or with some low-growing stuff. It's really hard to do. I found a better solution at the end, but yeah, this is one of the aspects. And you also need to position that far away from the people, because these animals potentially get stressed relatively quick. So this is also why I put a lot of effort into making sure that these areas also have a lot of plants around, some of which are not fully done, but you can also see that this beach area has a big kind of buffer area in between, so that if they feel brave enough, they can actually go up until, you know, the fence or the glass or whatever. But if they don't feel like, they can just stay in the middle of the habitat and just relax a little bit from the people. And yeah, at a certain point, I also figured that this backstage area needs to be connected together, because as I said, this is my rudilistic project, in which we at least imply as if this is all realism focused. So as I said, I will not go into the beautiful unnecessary bits. Let's call them this way. The beautiful unnecessary bits are is exactly the stuff you would expect to see. Yeah, for example, from Lider, and also from most of the people from Bro Nation, that they don't go the extra mile, they go the extra 200, 300, 400 miles. They build rooms that you'll never even stumble into, even if you're too stupid to find the right way. You have to actively search for these rooms, but if you find them, it's obviously amazing. But I just, you know, for several reasons I don't want to do this, but they are just so good at that I'm like, you know, you take that, it's fine. And I want to, you know, make this realistic to a certain degree, that it is from touring the park, from being in here, grabbing the atmosphere, it feels realistic. But whatever is behind the walls doesn't need to be like 100%, and just kind of seeing it more like a movie scene, in which the movie scene itself should be believable, but if you do work with some tricks, it's totally fine. I think that's the best description, what realistic in this project means. So I started off with some hyper-realistic ones, and this park over here has some hyper-realistic ones. The red panda and the lion are two of those, and they took me, like, I could have easily made 4 episodes out of them, and so I ended up cutting out so much of the videos to make 1 episode out of them, that it felt wasted in so many ways, because I couldn't show you the progress. I even got comments about the fact that, you know, the progress went too quick for them and they couldn't get this inspiration out of the video as they wished to, because there was just too much happening, which obviously makes sense if you put like 30 hours of work into like a 20-minute video. And yeah, so that was also one of the factors I decided to maybe not go that crazy much into it. And I mean, yeah, just purely the time available in my life is, you know, if I would go for that level of detail, you could expect 1 episode every 2.5-ish weeks, because I just don't have more time than about 8 to 9 hours a week, and that includes even cutting and stuff like that. So, and that is already quite a bit, so the last weeks would have been half the time, I guess. So I have to be efficient anyways to make YouTube. So that's the perfect segue. I did not even intend to, but here we are. This is the perfect segue while we're building a segue into the plaza. My God, everything just connects together. Now, as I said, a little bit of a hint to what's going on in the future of the channel. I gotta admit that the last DLC, the Arid DLC, changed definitely my view on how I want to proceed with the channel. Now, I obviously talked already about this in detail if you haven't watched my videos about why I end the franchise and what I think could be improved in Planet Zoo. This is the time to say that I will still focus on Planet Zoo, but I will focus on the projects that make me happy. I will focus on creativity. I will focus on random projects. I will not follow a certain guideline that ties me into a frame that stops my creativity from working. And I have to do that because there is a second factor that could make you do something. So if views on YouTube would be great for a certain project, there is a natural drive to continue that project. Even if deep inside of you, you're not maybe too much willing to do that, all the happiness and endorphins and whatnot from having these views would make you do good work in that. But we can all agree on the fact that Planet Zoo is not a natural view machine anymore. There are some examples of certain series that just still run good, either on my channel or on other channel, which is great, but this is like the core community. There is no big viral potential anymore in here. There is no big stuff, whatever. And my end goal is to professionalize my channel even further. I want to make better content for you guys. I want to free myself a little bit more again from the nasty work of cutting and stuff. My absolute dream goal is being able to employ a freelance cutter. But at the moment, I financially just can't do that. So I have to improve my channel to gain more advertisers' money. And this is just purely the reason why I will obviously also focus on the content that works. And it's my creativity that sells. It's not the realistic projects only. It's not Sicily only. And hell, it's not franchise. So being very open to you, I want to shape this with you guys. The more you love the stuff, the better the views will be naturally, because you click more, you watch more, and you enjoy this more. So that's the focus of the second part of the year. And I have already planned a couple of videos that go along that alley. I will make a lot more tutorials. I will focus on giving you guys insight on my journey in the Planet games, because I still feel like there's so much to tell that I've gone through that no one really knows maybe, and could be very useful. If you are just starting, for example, in one of the Planet games, there are so many things you should better know before you run into the same trap that I did. So yeah, and obviously City Skylines 2 will play a role, and I will also get back to my Jurassic project in Prehistoric Kingdom. So there are actually a couple of things that will tie together. And this is just a bit giving you reasoning why all of a sudden there is a rudilistic project again. So expect that to happen a bit more often, simply to avoid throwing Planet Zoo out of the window because I'm so annoyed by it. I will, whenever I feel like, I will change into something that I like, and no worries. There's always something in Planet Zoo that I like. But yeah, just giving you that little insight so you guys have a bit of an idea where this is going. And I really hope you like it, because it should and it will be for the better. And it will especially be for the better of you. I need your help, because obviously a YouTube channel without viewers is nothing. Then I could also just literally record it for myself and just listen to it myself, how I did this before YouTube even. I actually did that, it's not even a joke. But yeah, so looking at the cinematics now, I hope you enjoyed this habitat. It turned out beautiful. This little penguin is just kind of cute and creepy at the same time. It's like, I want to cuddle it, but then again, I don't want to meet it at night. So I desperately do not want to cuddle it at night, I guess. So that is basically the bottom line of this video. Yeah, do with that quote whatever you want. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did enjoy, I would always love to see you guys engage to help me out, bring this, video to the world, and also whatever, the deal. I don't need to repeat that all the time, do I? Have a good one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and goodbye.